What's up, guys? Bryce and Michael RC here, and I'm going to give you guys the full 3-month review of the Anycubic i3 Mega. I figured I'd do this video first before I do the complete fix-it video because I don't want somebody getting on and leaving a comment again saying that I'm talking bad about him because something went wrong, or that since I'm putting a fix-it video out. I want to tell you exactly how much I love the Anycubic i3 Mega. So when somebody leaves a comment like that on a simple fix-it video, I can say, hey, go check this video out, and you'll know exactly what I think about the Anycubic i3 Mega. This has completely been a treat to own. For the 3 months that I've had it, it's been a treat. Now, I'll start this video off with saying that it did break down on me, but let's talk about that whole process, because a lot of people like to know not just how it performs, because it performs immaculately, and we'll be showing you guys some of the 3D prints that it's done, and you can see it printing at the moment right now. I have it printing just so you guys can see with a bright blue filament. That way you guys can really see the filament and see it printing as we go. It did break down. Now, if you look on YouTube, there's not a lot of videos on YouTube about the Anycubic i3 Mega. Now, that could be because there's not a whole lot of them breaking down, but when you read the forums, there are plenty of people that had the same problem that I'm having. So you could look at it like this. There's a lot of people that are having trouble with it, but only a very select few know how to make videos on it. The other ones use the Facebook forums and things like that, so maybe they're not making videos of it, and so that's why I want to make you guys the full one. Basically, the only thing I had to do was replace this part here, which this is the power supply. Get you guys a good look at that. And this could be a thing, I mean, with manufacturers and stuff. This is dated 2017, this one's dated 2018, so this could be a thing where, I mean, there could have been several of these made, and they just weren't up to par. And those machines ended up breaking down or something. Within the first week that I had the Anycubic, the whole reason I bought the Anycubic i3 Mega was because it was simple to put together, which it's very, very simple to put together. And the fact that it had the Ultra Base. The Ultra Base is a heated bed where the PLA just sticks to it, and you don't need an adhesive, you don't need tape or anything like that. You can just, basically, it's plug and play. You put everything together very, very simply. You just add in like 2 screws or 4 screws or something like that. And then you pop in your SD card that they give you, and you do your test print, the owls, and then it just starts printing. That's the whole reason I bought it, was because of the simplicity of it and just the amazing technology that was in it. I didn't have to have any adhesives or anything like that. It seemed like something for a first-time 3D printer owner, that this was something that I could really just buy and start printing, and I wouldn't have to assemble a whole DIY set and try to figure out where things go and hide wires and things like that. Plus, it wasn't some big, large monstrosity where, you know, I would still have to try to figure a few things out, and not only that, but it's got a really easy touch screen on it. And I've seen a lot of them, they have these little turn knobs and things like that. I just wanted something that was very, very simple to where I could just get and start printing and start getting into the hobby. And this was the perfect one to start out with. I couldn't have asked for a better printer. Now, within the first couple weeks, the Ultra Base did stop working on me, and I started having to use this Craft Bond adhesive right here, and I used tape on a few of them and stuff. But little did I know that it was the power supply that was slowly going out. There was something in this that was slowly going out, and I think the temperature was off on the Ultra Base, or something was wrong with it, and the plastic was just not sticking to the base like it's supposed to. And the extruder would go around no matter how much I leveled it and stuff, and once the extruder went around its first pass, it would just yank all the first layer that it laid down completely off, and then it would get all tangled up into a huge ball. So I started using adhesives and tapes, and it still started printing. I thought maybe just the Ultra Base went out. I was kind of bummed out about it. And I printed a ton. I printed a ton of stuff. I mean, hours and hours, about 2 straight months of running the printer just about every single day. And made some amazing prints, and I had so much fun with it. And then suddenly one day it just broke down. And then I got a hold of them, and we replaced this. It was super easy to do. All you do is flip it up, undo the bottom, and then it's very simple to unscrew this, take the wires out of here, just take a picture of it, you know, take the wires out of here, unscrew these, put the new one in, you know, put them back in, and then it's up and running again. And as soon as I replace the power supply, I mean, the Ultra Base is working perfectly again. You can see right here, there is no adhesive to the board or anything like that. This is probably my 5th print since I've got it working again. This is a very cheap Solutech PLA, and it's working phenomenally. It's doing great, and it's been doing great ever since I put the new power supply in. Everything seems to be working 100% better. So I want to say a huge thank you to not only having just an amazing printer that makes amazing prints, and I'll show you guys some amazing prints. You guys can look back through my videos and see some of the amazing cosplay prints that we've made with this thing. This is the single only printer that I use right here. This Anycubic i3 Mega is the only printer that I use for all of my prints. The best possible thing about this is I thought since I had to order it, I ordered it from eBay, but you can order it from eBay or Amazon and a few other places, but it comes from China. And so I looked in through the forums and I found a customer service link to go to, and I emailed the person in customer service, and then they got me in touch with the actual Anycubic people, who then all their stuff was in Chinese and everything, and I had to translate a lot of it and all this. So seeing that it came from China, I thought, oh my god. I thought, man, the parts are gonna take forever to get here. I'm gonna have to test them out. We're gonna have a language barrier and all this different stuff. This couldn't get any worse. We started emailing back and forth. And between the company itself and the guy named Larry that I emailed initially for customer service, it was great. It was such a great experience. I couldn't be happier with the experience that I've had with this machine. And I'm one of those people that I fly drones all the time. I've had certain people send me things to show on the channel, and you know, I've dealt with companies and I've dealt with customer service fixing things. I'm fixing up a Phantom 3 Standard that was crashed from about 500 feet in the air and just exploded. There's a lot of things that I'm fixing on it and trying to call in. I've had to talk with the customer service at DJI, who doesn't care about their low-cost drones, and the customers who have their low-cost drones, their caring is not caring at all for low cost, all the way up to the thousands of dollar drones where they really care. So they're real selective on who they care to help. One of the greatest things about owning the Anycubic isn't even the fact that it's one of the best printers that you can get, and it prints some of the best quality prints. Their customer service is just phenomenal, and they tried to help me every step of the way. They email me back every single night, and if they didn't email me back that night, I got an email the night after that, because they're in China, so their nights are our days over there. If they missed a day, or for example, Larry didn't, became a weekend, so I didn't expect to get an email back over the weekend. And then when he finally emailed me back on Sunday night, which I got it Monday morning, there was a huge apology for not getting back with me right away, and I really appreciated it. I appreciated the care and the concern and the constant wanting to help. In fact, whenever I got the new power supply plugged in, I forgot to switch the switch over to the electrical current setting here in the United States, and it was shutting down the printer. It has safety features within it, and it was shutting down the printer after the first layer of print, and I couldn't figure out why. And it was just that little thing that I had forgotten to do. I emailed Larry initially on that, and I said, hey, I got this in, this is what happened, and he right on it, got back with me. I want to help you out, I want to figure out what's going on. So kudos to Anycubic i3 Mega for your customer service. I really appreciate it. Usually with customer service and things like that, I'm really impatient, and I really don't get along with them, and I had a really good experience. So anybody that owns an Anycubic i3 Mega, anytime that you have trouble with this machine, get a hold of him. So let's get into showing you guys some of these prints that we've done. I'm not going to show you the shelf because you guys can go back through and watch all the episodes of cosplay. I think we're on episode 8, so make sure that you guys go back through and watch those and process videos and stuff, because I've made some, in my eyes, some absolutely amazing cosplay helmets and stuff that you guys might really enjoy, and it really shows off the capability of this printer and what this printer can do. The one drawback that I don't like about it, the one con that I don't like about it, is it's not good at printing ABS. And ABS is a plastic that does better at high temperatures than PLA, because PLA melts at a very low melting temperature. And I would like to print a lot more in ABS, and so I'm trying to figure out some ways to do that. I know that there's been some people on YouTube that have figured it out on how to do it with the Anycubic i3 Mega. I think I might build like a box around it or something like that. It shouldn't be too hard and it shouldn't be too expensive. And for the price of the Anycubic i3 Mega, only at like $350, it's really not that big of a con. Because if I have to go in and spend another extra like 50, 60 bucks on building a box around it, that really still, it's still such a reasonable price when the CR10 is about $100 more, something like that, or like $50 more, and I don't know how much better it is because it's open just like the Anycubic i3 Mega. That's one thing, when you're buying a printer, if you have a printer that's open just like this, that's got a lot of air coming into it, airflow, and if you live in an air-conditioned house or it's cold out or something like that, and you get that air coming in, you're taking a chance on warping and things like that. This is the most reasonably priced open 3D printer that's on the market right now, that's so easy to assemble and that has such an easy interface and touchscreen that you just can't beat it. It's really not that big of a con to have to build a box around it or something like that. To me, it's not, and I'll get around to that, and I'll show you guys. It does print some ABS. I've gotten it to print ABS. This is an ABS model right here of Yoda, and there's not a lot of mess up on it. It didn't do a lot of warping. I think my house was ambiently hot at the time. Even the feet are actually pretty flat. Usually when I print ABS, like a figure about this size or something, the bottom starts to kind of roll up or something and round out. But this is one of the only successful pieces that I've made with ABS. I've made a few other ones, a little alien that you guys can see in a filament video that I did about the ABS and PLA filaments that I've put through this machine. So it does print some, and this isn't a bad print at all. Let's see how close I can get it to where you guys can see it. It's not a bad print at all. And this was actually in the Cura settings of normal, not high, not low, but just right in the middle of normal. And it just did an amazing, fantastic job. There's no skipped areas. It didn't shrink. So figurines and stuff about this size and even a little bit smaller you can do. Something that's geometrical, like that has to be perfectly squared or something like that. With the shrinking and stuff of the ABS, the warping, I wouldn't trust it unless you got a box around it to keep it one temperature all the way around and just get it as hot as you can in there. That is the ABS that I've gotten. This is some PLA. This is a mess up that we did. It was the wrong size of Star-Lord's helmet. And this is probably one of the bigger pieces that I've done all in one piece. And so I just kind of want to show you how it does with just a big piece. I mean, this is also on the normal because I wanted it to go a little bit faster. And it just does a fantastic job at printing this. On the bottom, I think you can see where the supports were, so it's a little bit messed up right here and here. And that's one drawback to this, is when there's supports on an area, at least in the normal setting. In the high settings, it's a little bit better whenever you put up the infill and you put up the supports. But I have the supports down at like 5% and I have the infill at like 2%. So if you set them higher with more infill and more support material, then you don't have that bad of of cracks and stuff in it. But up here it just ended up phenomenal. And this had supports all in it at the top. You can see up there, this whole thing had supports all in it. There's supports all through here, which you can see up here there isn't any bad spots. So they just did a fantastic job. So that's the PLA that it does, a bigger PLA so you guys can see it really good. Here's my test print in PLA. You guys want to see that, and just the regular settings that they already had set up. This is just wonderful. I mean, it just did a fantastic job on such a little piece. A lot of this has to do with your settings, because this machine performs amazingly. It just takes a lot more time if you want it to get perfect, and it will get damn near perfect. But it's like I said, it's higher time. But you can lower the time by messing with your settings and setting a few things down if you don't mind fixing a few smaller things. But then it takes a little bit of the details and things out of it, like the aliens that I had that I'll leave a link in the description to the filaments video. You guys can see the thing sticking out of his head where the alien is 100% perfect, but then the little antenna that sticks out the top of his head is pretty messed up. And that's because just the little tiny, you know, just a little tiny like line, you know, that goes up or something. It doesn't do very good on a lower setting. Oh, here's one right here, because this is TPU, and this is the only TPU model I have that I can show you, because I haven't used my TPU except for this right here. So this is what I'm talking about right here. The top of it, his antenna is all messed up, and it struggled with it. Like, this one's on normal as well, not on a high setting or anything, just on normal. And you can just see how smooth that did on TPU. This is the squishy TPU, and it just did a fantastic job on all the detail. This is more of a rounded print that has less hard shapes and stuff in it, and so these types of things, man, it just does them gloriously. This thing is just amazing. But like I said, that top thing there, all of the aliens' antenna look like that. So, and this is all in normal. All these that I'm showing you guys, all these models, I print in just the normal settings on Cura. I change a few things myself, like I said, the infill and the infill density and the support density. I change both of those to less to save on time, which is always going to make your print just a little bit less quality. But I make cosplay stuff that I smooth over, because you have to get rid of that 3D layering. So since I'm already putting a smoothing agent on it or something like that, and I'm sanding it, it doesn't bother me to have a lot of nicks and knacks here and there where the supports were, because I'm going to be smoothing over that anyways. But you can get it that smooth. Here's another example of something that's not been messed with at all. I haven't sanded it or anything. And this one I actually messed up, and in the Cura settings I forgot to turn the fan on. After printing ABS, I switched over to the PLA, and I completely forgot to turn the fan on, and it still performed perfectly. The only thing that it didn't do good was the very top. It was real hot as it was over the top of it finishing up the top, but everything else, the detail is just great. You know, the Celtic knots and stuff on the sides of the heads are just perfect, and that's while it was hot and not cooling down or anything. I mean, it just still put out a quality print on a normal setting, you know. So I mean, this thing just does perfect prints. It's just awesome. Here's a little test cube that I ended up doing for it with my settings. Just did an awesome job with that. This has no supports or anything in it. It just kind of prints the cube. Some people use these cubes as kind of like your little testing thing. got tons of videos you guys can look through and watch, building different cosplay things. And in the process videos, it'll show it, you know, in its the actual prints themselves. Sometimes it doesn't, but I try to show the print itself for the most part. And when it comes to like ghosting, when it comes to layer shifting and things like that, I really haven't had that much of a problem with it. I've had small, very small layer shifts every now and then, probably about every 8 or 9 prints. Ghosting, I mean, that's just kind of something that happens, but it's really not that prominent in most of my prints. I'll show you guys one other print real quick, this one here. And the reason I'm showing you the guys is because it has both of them. So you can see that it looks really, really good all the way around. And this is printed in clear Solitech PLA. Printed it perfectly, except for down here there was a layer shift right there in the just one little spot, but it didn't layer shift the entire thing over here, just this one spot. So I think it was because I have this setting on here. I just got it fixed, so I haven't put my little dampeners on it. These are just real low resolution, low quality TPU dampeners that I made real fast for it, and they dampen the vibration and stuff a lot. I mean, if you have one of these, get one of these, because these are, my prints have been way better because of these. Because I have 2 kids, they run through the house, through my bedroom. I have it sitting on my table right now that's in my dining room. I usually have it in my bedroom, but ever since I fixed it, I've had it sitting out here, and I forgot to put these feet on it. And I think what happened is my kids went running through the house, and my floor is not the best solid floor in the world, and it just kind of shakes as you just walk through. I think they ran through and ended up just causing it to skip there towards the bottom, and that's basically it on that. Let's see if I can show you guys. I don't know if you're going to be able to see the ghosting. It's right, I've got some right here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on here. There we go. See right there, along that line. You can see it just a little bit. And that kind of just happens when your printer speed is just going a little too fast and it takes a hard turn or something like that. And the way that this was, it was set backwards, and it was building the supports here while going up, you know, and getting the, so on a normal setting, that's barely any ghosting at all. And to be honest with you, I've seen 3D printers on a high setting in Cura that still got way worse ghosting than that. So I mean, that really isn't too bad. And with this being a cosplay thing here, you're not going to see it in the final thing. So that's kind of it, guys, on the Anycubic i3 Mega. I can't say enough about it. I could sit here and do like a 40-minute video telling you guys all about how much I love this printer. If you're a beginner printer, if you're just getting into the hobby, if you've never bought a printer before or anything, I would highly suggest, and this is, I'm not getting paid to say this, they didn't send me this, I bought this with my own cash. I would highly suggest, if you're a beginner, go out and get one, because if you don't know anything about 3D printing and you don't know if you're going to be any good at 3D printing, or you're not that quick of a learner when it comes to programs and things like that, this thing is amazing. It comes with a booklet that tells you how to do everything you need to do in it. The communities that are online are amazing, the forums are amazing, and if anything breaks down, the customer service is going to treat you so good, and they're going to tell you how to troubleshoot things. If you're not an electrician, if you don't know how to do wiring and stuff, they will walk you through the entire thing. They're just an amazing company. I can't say enough about Anycubic, and I would stand by the name Anycubic, and I really want to buy another Anycubic. Probably one of their other models or something like that. I'm not sure. I've been looking at a few of their other things because I was so impressed by the customer service, and I've been so impressed by the machine itself. that, you know, I was debating on getting a CR10 and doing comparisons and stuff, and I'm still kind of debating on doing that, but I kind of want to get another Anycubic product, so I'm not sure. I love it. I really do, and I can't tell you guys how excited I am about it. And if anybody took that must-see video, and I'll put it right up here that you guys can see this. If anybody took that as me talking negatively on it, I wasn't. I was just kind of heartbroken at the moment that it was broken, because I loved this printer so much. I was just kind of heartbroken about it. And then the customer service just was amazing after that. The part came in. It took a little while for it to come in, but once the part came in, you know, it was put it back together, and it's just been an amazing experience altogether. So even with that breakdown, after 3 months of owning it, it's just been an amazing experience. And that might have just been the fluke of, you know, like I said on the forums, there were several of us that, you know, all around the same time had the same problem happen. So that could be, you know, not Anycubic's fault. That could be, you know, whoever made the power supplies, which it could be Anycubic, but, you know, maybe they didn't get the quality control that they should have gotten, or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. It could have been my own fault. I mean, it really could have, with as much as I ran it within the first 3 months, and switching the power supply on the side, you know, trying to remember which one we were at every time that I fixed it and stuff. Could have been my fault completely. So I'm not gonna put that on them. It's just an awesome printer. I suggest you guys go out and get one fast. Get into this hobby. Hit that notification button so you guys can constantly check back and see more cosplay videos. Every one of them is built with this machine. Every one. And they've just been so amazing. And I'm going to keep putting more out and more out and more out. As you guys got to see a little teaser in this video that you guys haven't seen on any of the episodes yet. So we'll see you guys later. I'm Bryce with Michael RC. Have a good day.